Happy New Year. It's a very brand new program on Sunny Rabo Live, News Central TV, Africa. And we expect to look at the year ahead of us, especially as far as Nigeria is concerned, especially with inflation, the pricing, and the economy. We'll also look at policy making and indeed how businesses can survive in Nigeria. I have one person as my guest. I used to call him a rabble-rouser. I'm sure he will laugh when I say that. But you see, when he analyzes, you see the pictures, and it tells you the way he sees it, and oftentimes it's usually the way it's supposed to be. So I said, okay, let's have Mr. Joseph Edgar on Sunny Rabo Live, the first edition of 2025 in News Central TV. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
So, rabble rouser, how does that sound like to you?
I get called that a lot. I don't know why you call me that.
Okay, we'll find out in the course of this program. But however, let's look at, Joseph Edgar, investment banking, business orientation, analysis, columnist, stage show producers, and all of that. So, but we'll start with investment banking.
Yeah.
What do you think? Is there any hope for it? BGL came, went, seems to have come back.
Yeah.
According to you.
Yeah, from what we've heard, we see other raps, and there's been no official pronouncement just yet, so I can't talk too much about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. But there's hope in for investment banking.
I hear so.
Okay, you hear so.
Yes.
All right. Well, maybe you should throw more light on investment banking.
Okay.
Why do we even need it in Nigeria?
Oh, very critical though. Investment banking intermediates. Yeah, so intermediates between owners of resources and those who need resources to create wealth. You see, so
say that again.
So investment banking intermediates between owners of resources and those who need those resources to create wealth.
Okay.
Do you understand? So you can do that in different formats: capital structuring, capital raising, financial advisory, and all sorts of different things.
Looking at the Nigerian business environment, do you see any financial discipline in our attitude generally? Both from the policymakers to the people down there, the us.
Okay, so I've heard people say that the private sector is much more corrupt than public sector. I've heard that.
And what's your take on that?
Different circles. And it's so things I've seen or heard, there's some truth to that, because honest God truth is that those in policy do not really understand, how the financial markets work. They would need advice from those in the private sector on how to do some of these things. So in that sense, just maybe it's true that there's a little bit more, there's at the same level of financial indiscipline on both sides.
Indiscipline on both sides. Where's the rule of law then? I always ask that question in almost everybody that talks about any semblance of the law for that. Where's the rule of law? Where's the respect for it?
That's where we find ourselves in this country now. Everything started dropping since 1960, dropping to where we are now, where we are almost close to anarchy. You guys don't take it, because when it's gone through it, you just really can't find justice as a normal common man. You can't walk into a police station, for example, and expect justice. You get me now? So a mechanic messes up my car, and I walk into the police station, and I find out that I'm actually walking into a den. Yes, because I can't really get the questions they're asking me. It's not giving me the confidence to get that I will get justice. That's at the low level. Do you get me now?
And if the person at the low level feels that way, what do you expect those who at the middle and high level?
So I have to ask myself, why even bother going to court? Because, for example, election has been held, we've all seen what has happened, and it's also go to court. I actually go to court, and the results come out, the judgments come out. Funny. Do you get me now? So I have to say, why go to court? Yeah, so that's a question of what now happens to the rule of law. It's weakened.
Yeah.
You get, and when rule of law is weakened, you can't protect private property. And then when you can't protect private property runs away. That's why I see most of the organizations are leaving the system. You get, and then when private property runs away, you can't create wealth. When you can't create wealth, you can't create jobs. You can't create jobs, you get standard of living drops. Standard of living drops, poverty drops.
Anarchy in the making.
Anarchy in the making, violence. So at that point, the wealthy are no longer very comfortable again. They're not secured in their wealth.
So there's no love lost between any party, whether good, bad, or ugly.
There can be no loss when there's expected anarchy, driven by poverty.
What should we do?
I think it's getting better. Funny enough, I think it's getting better.
How?
I think things are beginning to calm down. In the last 2-3 months.
Is that from the resilience of the people, or is it from, when you say calm down?
If you look at the statistics, if you look at crime, it's stabilizing. It's not good, very far from good, you get me now, but it's not spiking like it was 6-7 months ago. If you look at insurgency, it's mellowing. If you go to the hotbeds, Nigerian NDS sent out figures already. If you look at, they said, oh, the most violent parts of this country are northeast and southeast. You get me now? But if you look at the figures year on year, you see that there's no real spike. You get, I can't really explain why. You get, the figures are still very high, but they're not quadrupling like they were last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And things like that. You know, so the food inflation is also very high, still going up, but year on year it's not as high as Israel. That's what's giving the president confidence to say, look, we're targeting 15% year on inflation by 2025.
15% from 30 or whatever.
From 30, yeah.
Almost 40%.
Yeah. So that's a tall order, but he knows what he's saying. I don't know what he's saying, but I don't think he would have made this statement this time last year. That would have been wishful thinking. So what I think is making make this statement is that if this trend persists, we should be able to do that because fair price is coming out. So 2 things drive things in this country: fair price and forex.
Okay.
These are 2 things that really drive. So basically, Nigeria is just a 2-cylinder engine. You understand? A 2-cylinder engine. So yes. Forex and this is, so when those 2 go up, it drives inflation. When that drives inflation, it drives food inflation. Once it drives food inflation like that, you get the consumer demand for consumer things drops. And when that drops, companies are not generating revenues to keep jobs. When they don't keep jobs, people begin to lose their jobs.
Well, there's a problem here because the companies are not generating revenue. And that's because the companies are not encouraged to generate revenue. It appears.
Okay, so my thinking, I think differently.
Okay, how?
I think differently. I think companies, I think Nigerians should encourage government to stay clear.
Is government willing to stay clear?
Yes, government can stay clear. Government wants to stay clear. So,
how?
Yes, that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing the present administration going to market reforms. So
right.
they pulled out of fuel. They are pulling out gradually from power.
So market forces are being given a chance.
That's to drive revenue. So the only thing is that we need to shore up purchasing power. Because if we don't shore up purchasing power, most Nigerians will be able to afford the services we're back to square one. So what government needs to do now is to go back to what they're traditionally supposed to have been doing since 1960, they've not done. Which is to provide a level playing field. Government has no business in business. Government has no business providing power. Government has no business selling cars. Government has no business selling food. When I hear Lagos government say, oh, we are providing food, no, it's not their job.
It's not their job.
Do you get me now? That's why we have this problem, because government will come with this inefficiency, because it cannot do business efficiently, because what drives government is common good. Everybody has
there's no commitment.
No, there's commitment. But see, everybody has entitlement. So
that doesn't make it committed.
No, hold on, let me say.
Okay.
You see, what drives government
yes.
is common good for the majority.
Okay.
So the majority in this essence means that you and me, Shama, me and Akwaboma, we have the same stake in this thing. You get me now? So if government is going to say we want to run federal parallel hotel, for example, there has to be that balancing. So if the MD is Edo, the the deputy MD must be Sokoto. So
Okay.
there'll be federal character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So at that point,
The quota system it used to be.
but
those-
so at that point, efficiency is killed. Competence is killed.
yeah.
Policy making
Okay.
becomes, you get me now? So now, what President Tinubu has done, which I like, is to go back to what government is supposed to be. So this government is now what we call right of center, which is liberal, you get, which is market forces driven, which is, we don't have a business in business. We'll make the laws. We'll try to protect the rule of law, to protect private wealth, but we'll tax you.
Aha.
I see now.
So which is where some people are now saying or reacting against taxation.
You don't get sense. You don't get sense.
What's your take on that?
Yeah, I'm in support of tax reforms
Okay.
heavily because I've not seen it. I've not looked at the policy robustly, but from the listeners I've seen, it's clear. If you're earning a certain amount of money below, you don't pay tax. If you're earning a certain amount higher, you pay tax. It's normal. You get me now? So we see it. We're in a country where less than 10% or 20% of the business pay taxes, pay the right taxes.
Right.
Do you get me now? You know, and there's a lot of inefficiency in the collections. You get so that starves government
How
of
can you
funds.
correct that aspect of it?
That's what I'm trying to do now.
Inefficiency in the collection.
That's what I'm trying to do now with the tax reforms. So they're going to drive technology. Do you get?
Right.
They're going to drive technology so that see, another problem again is that I don't even think people have problem paying taxes.
No, I don't think they.
I don't think people have problem there. But why it's because of inefficiency in the system. So look at me, a small business like me now. They can't say I'm going tax 36 million. How now? Am I just beggar? I don't die. Someone let us say I'm going 36 million. For
How
tax.
did they arrive at that?
Ask me, the official rate is 600,000 that way. At my rate, do you get me now?
Yeah.
So because of that, it encourages people to dodge. But if you throw in technology into it, you get,
You're able to trace
you're
the
able
movement.
to track it and know the
payment
exact
track.
amount
Yes,
you
yes.
are owing.
Right.
And the amount, yes, that you owe the government, you will pay. And the government also put technology in the mode of payment. Like for example, VAT. So VAT is you are collecting on behalf of government. You get now a small business that's struggling to make ends meet. It has collected VAT from government for the past 1 month. You get me now? It's never free salary. It's never free buy goods. You go
So
collect
you
from that
won't be
VAT, pay oh.
Before you now
before I go to work, they'll pay, so I will pay government.
but you will have broken the law.
They are breaking the law. That's what's happening now. So because of that, do you get me now? The inefficiency, the corruption, in the other side now comes at you and you start cutting deals. Do you get? But if there's technology, you get, as you are earning it, as you are collecting it, technology is collecting it from you. It helps both sides.
So that way you're not owing.
That's why you're not owing. That's what government is right now. You see, let me tell something, my brother, I've said this to them. I am not a blind critic. Do you get me now? When you mess up, I will shout. When you do well, I will say, well done.
Well done.
This government has done well in some areas. They've done well with the subsidy. I saw it. We saw it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people do not know it to happen. I need to happen. Once government removes their hand, do you get me now? Competition will enter. Once competition enters, prices will drop.
And I used to hear somewhere, competition breeds quality.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So right now, Dangote has dropped firm. NMBC don't go back. There's a fight. There's a fight.
So everybody going back.
So we heard that you might get the 600. And if it does that, it will pull down every other thing. To put every other thing, you know?
But then there's an aspect that I still worry about because of the way things are handled. We need to generate resources for us to even play level with anybody.
Yeah.
If at Nigeria's level we are an oil-producing country, so by now we ought to be able to manage a lot of things by ourselves. But that money doesn't trickle down. So Dangote refinery is a big one, 650,000. Okay, and now we hear that the smaller ones,
They're coming on
Warri
board.
and Port Harcourt, have come.
Even back.
Okay, so why then should we have any problem whatsoever? Why don't we encourage those, the Dangote, the Warri, and the
They're being encouraged now.
In what way?
The government has said they can be buying crude with Naira. That's massive encouragement.
Instead of the dollar.
Yeah, that's massive encouragement.
We shouldn't buy crude,
Yes.
not the refined.
Yes, buying crude in Naira. That's massive encouragement from government.
Yes.
Massive. You see, there's somewhere. Dangote fought a war, do you get me now, to get where he is today.
Yeah.
And I always laugh that the people that are fighting him, very stupid people. Because
Who are the stupid people?
whoever it is that are fighting him,
Okay.
you get 3 months to the opening of the refinery. Because these same people, these same people, if they had sense, when the man came for license 10, 15 years ago to build refinery, they would have known that this thing could spend work for us, so don't go hang out for them. But now the guy has gone to build this thing, spend $20 billion, build this thing. It's now a massive Nigerian project. Every Nigerian now adopted it as our project.
Even in Africa.
In Africa, you now want to come and pull back the bull when the bull has left the something. And you can see now, the man was always going to disrupt whatever it was in that sector. Either in pricing, either in distribution, either in supply, either in quality. So if he did what they should have given license in the first instance. Are you getting me now?
And so, he needed to recoup his money anyway. Proper business sense.
No, for me, I don't give it that. I'm not worried about that. I'm not interested in that as a person.
Okay.
You get me now? I'm interested in the impact of this refinery on the markets and by extension the people. And I begin to see the impact now. What's the impact now? There's fuel everywhere.
So there's no more queue unnecessary.
No more queue. There's fuel everywhere.
Okay.
You get me now? So nobody can play with the supply. You get me now? Because those days, it's also high price of fuel. You get me now? You do supply and you do scarcity. And that people are even buying in the black market times 20. But then they increase the fuel by 10%. Boy, I'm relieved that I can get it at this price. Because I was better than that. You know, that will not go now. So that's why I like government. Government is now pulling out.
So in essence, the government knows what it is doing.
Yes.
Okay.
Government now saying, know something, I don't want to be involved in this thing again. Just pay me my taxes.
All right, so we'll take a short break, and when we get back, we'll go to the other aspects of economic survival, revival, and so on and so forth. Joseph Edgar on Sonny Rabo Live. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Yes, well, this is Sonny Rabo Live, and the second part of the interview, a very lively one, I must say. Now, how does the individual, the average Nigerian individual, survive the business climate in Nigeria? What must he do? How creative must he be?
I always say that anybody who survives Nigerian business climate can survive anywhere in the world. Anybody who does not survive Nigerian business climate can survive anywhere in the world. Let's go through. Because if you see those who have jackpot, you get there, it's the same thing. You get me that? Nigerian business environment is very colorful. It's very colorful. It needs a lot of creativity. To survive. And you also have to learn how to do things differently. Because the Nigerian market is very sophisticated. Everybody's thinking, everybody's moving fast. Everybody's thinking, everybody's moving fast. Yeah. So if you come at the market with normal things, you just get normal returns. You get normal responses from people. But the next big thing, something totally different. Somebody woke up one morning and started selling water in nylon bag. I made millions. Next guy that said, no, nylon bag is all clean. I put my own in sachets. He made millions. Next guy that said, oh, I bottle it. Today, nobody buys. Before when you go and drink, eat a book and they give you free water now. Now you have to buy water. I can see that. It's somebody's idea. Do you get me now? Nigerians are very creative. It's a huge market. Ask me, why are Indians coming? Why are Chinese coming? Why are they not going?
True.
Why are the Igbo people flourishing? Do you get me now? It's the people who are not making it in Nigeria. I'm sorry, it's lazy. I don't use the word lazy because I almost say it. When you have a lazy thought process, you can't make it. You can't make it. You can't make it. The country is a capitalist environment. It doesn't suffer fools. I'm not a politician, so I can see my mind.
Yes.
It does not suffer fools. You get capitalism does not suffer fools. That's why government needs to have some kind of grants. You get me now, to act as buffer. You get me now, for those who are struggling and not really making it. But honest to go through, in a rough fight where we are in this economy, you get me now, you must stand. I don't know you can stand. It's to be creative, to know what you are doing, and to know how to fail. I just don't know how to fail.
Know how to fail.
Yes,
and
I have failed all of my life. Yes, I have failed all of my life. I have been arrested. I've been put in a cell in this Lagos 3 times. I've lost my job 3 times. They don't sack me 3 times. You get me now? But today, I'm the biggest setup producer in the country, and then in the world. You get me now? So it didn't drop on my leg.
You were learning from your mistakes.
Yes, they're failing. Serious failure, bankruptcy, can't pay school fees, can't pay house rent. You get me now? That's what makes it. That's how you survive in this town. You get me now? And the beauty about this whole thing is that the generation after us, this is what they call the millennial Gen Z, you get me now? They're experts in these things. You get me now? The figures are crazy. I saw the figures for the 2.8 billion naira was sold in December for tickets. 576,000 tickets were sold in 1 month in movie. If they continue at this pace, movie industry will start making more money than some states. That means a movie producer will be more powerful than some state governors.
But the truth is, the state governors are not supposed to be in charge of that kind of massive money. They're supposed to encourage businesses to grow so that everybody can, your so-called level playing field will come to play there. So that's why I will not agree with you.
So the governors are a major problem.
You said it fully now.
No, the governors are a major
in what
problem.
way?
Yes, because the federal government seems to understand. Present federal government seems to understand their role in reforming, in bringing back the economy. But the governors don't seem to understand that.
Well, they should be tutored.
I think they're confused. Their arrogance only them sit down. Because you see, they see themselves as major economic players. So you see a governor say, "Oh, I'm building 13 stories."
For what?
In Lagos Island to collect rent. It's not his job. It's not his job. You see a governor say, "Oh, I'm creating farms." So it's not his job. He should say, "Ogusoni, you are a well-respected farmer. You come to my state. I will give you how many acres of land.
Yes.
I will give you 5-year tax rebate. I will give you startup funds. But just make sure that you employ 5,000 of my people.
Citizens.
You get, and then I will make sure that I buy it off you, buy your produce off you, so that at least you are listening now. So I cannot use that as palliative to my people until you stand." That's what governments do. State governors don't understand this. That's why they're fighting for local government funds. Local government is the 3rd tier.
In fact, now that you brought that in, very interesting that you brought that in, because the federal government has insisted
Yes.
that local governments
Must be independent. Financially independent. Yes.
Yes. And that's very helpful.
Yes.
But what is the guarantee that the local government will not themselves betray?
And that story for another day. That story we have to discuss in a political program or economic program.
No. We have to discuss it now because
the
grassroots is the main economy.
You see, it's a trajectory of incompetence. You get from the federal to the state to the local. You must understand that in the political space, not in the economic space. Because the grassroots is where the electoral power is.
Yes.
The federal must control the grassroots. In controlling the grassroots, they must make sure that people are there. And in choosing those people, they are not looking at competence. They are looking at who's going to deliver.
No, you're saying it as if it should be the norm.
No. I'm telling you the reality. I'm telling you what's happening on the ground.
Okay.
You get me now? So you now find out that across the nation, you have a 3rd tier of government manned by people who got there because of their ability to deliver political power at the grassroots.
Which should not be the case.
Which should not be the case. So if you now fund them, if you now say, okay, because of these local government reforms, all your money goes to you, you get what you expect. Because that person there is not an administrator. He's not a politician. That person got there because he was able to deliver that place to either the senator or to the party or to wherever. You get me now? So now, the federal government now needs to have political will to move against that person, knowing fully well that he ain't going to need that person for 2nd term. You see what I say? It's not economic discussion again, it's political discussion now. Because always go through, if I were the president or the governor or a senator, you get me now? Somebody delivered one local government which gave me 60% of my votes, and I rewarded him by making sure that he emerged as chairman. And he has EFCC problem. And I'm seeing 2nd term coming towards me. I will not form my hands.
causing more problems. You see, you're a rabble rouser.
No, me just analyze. Me nobody go abduct me.
No.
I mean, I don't announce when the program won't end. Maybe I go home peacefully and beg.
Yes.
So that's the problem. It's a problem. You get so going to bail the cat.
Another big major problem in all of these things is the grassroots really needs to understand its power.
They do.
In the scheme of things.
They do, but there's a more powerful power. Poverty, hunger.
So it makes them not think.
Yeah, they do. Everybody, they do.
But now that the government has changed, giving the local government enough power financially, shouldn't there be some level of, we'll begin to see the dividends?
No. So the poverty index has to drop significantly, so that people can begin to pursue adult suffrage. You get me now, without taking into consideration what we eat, which is banal. Do you get me now? So now, if somebody is giving 20,000, 10,000, 40,000 naira, someone that knows that kind of money in 6 months to just do like this, he will do now without thinking. What does it cost? He will do. You get me now?
So we must therefore make an effort to correct the anomaly. How do we achieve that?
See, all these things, we know we have a military government mentality. That's what we have. Military government only just want to move it. Do you get me now? No, all these things fall into place once the right things are being done at the right time. If you drop inflation, poverty index will drop, employment will rise, education will rise, healthcare delivery will expand. Do you get? Then people cannot begin to see the essence of humanity. They cannot say, oh, I don't believe that Uncle Sunday can deliver on this promise, so I don't have to vote for him no matter what it gives to me. Because I know that I will see it tomorrow morning. I see now. That's why government has to work very hard, you get me now, to make sure all of these economic indices
dispassionately
begin to, you get me now? So that at that point, so that, for example now, if you take a Gen Z, a millennial who is not very hungry, and you ask him, I'll give you 40,000 as vote, but he's going to ask you why. Why? Do you get? Why? Because you have to explain to him why he should vote for that guy beyond the 40,000. But if you leave that age demography and come to a 30, 40-year-old, just make our sister of it.
But the point is, before now, I don't think it was really the issue of voting and the ability to vote. It was more like who has the money to call the shots and make people move the figures to your detriment or to your advantage. So I don't see why your analysis as it is now should be an issue we should worry about, because it doesn't seem to always follow it.
Explain better.
Yeah, I mean, I see a situation where I say, I want Joseph Edgar to be my president, whether he deserves it or not. I should be able to get the financial power, muscle, and the people to follow my finances to put you there. So it's not by people power, it's by financial power.
No, people power has always been a great force. See, you can't do that without people behind you. See June 12 now. You can't do that without people behind you. You must have already beaten people to submission before you now go about and do that. Because if you go and put an unpopular candidate there, people will react.
Okay.
They always react from the first public till date. Do you get me now? So you would have beaten people to submission first before you now come and say, "Now, Sonny, I won't put for you."
Talking about reaction, and then what about now I'm forced to bring in INEC and its declaration who wins or doesn't win. Do you understand? And that is a major issue we should contend with.
And so it goes back to inability to mobilize people because of hunger and poverty.
Okay.
Do you get me now? So if you have you noticed something that since this particular administration, we found it very difficult to mobilize against them. And they say I've tried to cost 3 days go end. Why do you think that happen? Because they understand how to play with hunger. They know the touch points. Do you understand? Drop one cow here, drop one palliative here, drop one the office. Do you get me now? So
which has created the kind of problem we had a few days and weeks ago, where numbers died in Ibadan, Abuja, and I think Oka in Anambra.
So that's why I even think that's I don't even think that's out of poverty. I just think that's out of poor crowd management. Because your church now, not your church, that church of Falomo, they feed people thousands every day. That kind of church.
Yes.
No stampede.
Used to be my church actually.
There's no stampede now.
Yes.
It's not poor. That was those were managed. Those were those poor. You see, those ones just wanted to just show the world that I mean they do this thing. You could have done that thing easier. Collect phone numbers, transfer money to them. You know, but you just wanted to just show the world that we. And then those poor crowd.
Okay.
Poor crowd.
Going back to creativity in business, ideas. I want to use you as an example. From investment banking, from banking to investment banking, now you are into stage plays. How did you get to that? I still can't get over it. Because the Joseph Edgar I know is a banker, investment banker, and a columnist.
Yes.
Then suddenly you are discussing with producers on stage, and even dealing with high net worth individuals and their historical backgrounds.
Yes.
By the way, we'll talk about history later, but yes.
Yes.
How did you get into all that?
There are two things. That's the poverty we talk about here now.
Yes, okay.
Excuse me, I have a bad cold. Can I get water, please?
Water, please. Okay, we'll be right back after the break. A little short break here. We'll be right back. Then we'll sort ourselves out. Yes, thank you very much. Welcome back. Joseph Edgar was talking about himself as a model of business creativity, from banking, business investment banking, columnists to stage plays.
Yeah.
Right. You were on it before you got.
I'm sorry. Okay, basically, there are two things now. So, there's a poverty angle, so I lost my job, in one of those banks, and so what else can I do, And then I got my job and they pay me X. And then my children were going to schools. And the school fees was crazy. And then one day they called me and said, I was owing school fees. How much you want to use school fees? I'm owing 2 million naira. How? Over a period. So I've been paying less a fraction. So I said, okay, give me 30 days to pay back. I looked at my salary, which there's no way I'm going to pay the school fees. I was going back from, I went to the school in Anthony Village. On my way back to the island. I was like, what can I do to pay this salary? To pay this school fees? And it was on me, fuck. Oh, you write for this day. Why don't you put all of them on stage? I went to Bola House in Britain and I said, please, I want to do a stage play. I don't know how to do it, you get, but I know I can raise the money. Do you understand? And he gave me somebody. And the guy now gave me a script, And I said, how much is it going to cost me? That time, he said 4 million naira that time. That time, 4 million big money. Where did I get 4 million naira from? So I just took my phone, open an Excel sheet, and ask myself a very simple question. That's creativity. In business that a lot of people don't have now. That's a very simple question. How many people are my friends that can give me 100,000 naira without blinking? Right now, so I'm going 4 million naira. How many people are my friends that can give me 100,000 naira without blinking? But that free going through my phone, I see 6 million. No.
Just like that.
I'm telling you. Yes, I said, Uncle Sonny can give me 50K. You get that as a person, I will give you 50. Uncle James can give me 200K. And I start working my phone. Uncle Sonny, I'm doing a play next week. Help your brother, give me 50K. That's how I raised 6 million. I made 2 million my first production. Do you get me now? Second production, it was Lagos at 50. Do you get it? Yes. So I wrote down for them. I don't know if one down that time. So I wrote to him and I said, look, I'm an Akwabama born in Lagos. That's creativity. Akwabama born in Lagos. And I'm 48 years old. Lagos is 50. I was living in Shomolu all 48 years of my life. I want to give back to this thing by doing a play called Isaleko.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and he called me and he said, what's the budget? And I told him, come and collect the money and give me everything. Get and he told me when is the play, I told him when he came. So what's the play? You see that we've got $2 billion now in the sponsorship revenues since started. And it just sits on the chassis of me being a salesman. Do you get me now? So because I'm a salesman, do you get me now? Everything I've done in my life, whether it's investment banking, whether it's theater, whether it's writing a book, whether it's a column, whether it's a book, whatever it is, it sits on that chassis of a salesman. And then what holds that salesman now is the ability to network.
Network, very important.
And build relationships. Now, once you have that chassis, you can do anything. When I want to build a refinery, when I want to do a Greek, you can do anything. So a lot of people are not salespeople. You get there are two types of salespeople: the natural salespeople and the salespeople with condition made them salespeople.
Yes.
Most people are executioners; they're not salespeople. It's okay. Do you get me now? But you look for a salesman in front of you, let that person bring the money, then you do what you need to do. But you must expect failure.
Expect failure.
Yes, you must look forward to failure. You must fail.
Before you became a stage or theater person, did you, all right, after you became, did you experience any failure?
Amasi, we failed. What we did Zik? We failed. I lost 32 million. What we did Zik?
I remember you came to Benin and did, is this the second?
Emotan. I almost paid for that myself. Almost. I got that money, I got that 12 million 2 days to the show. Almost failed. Then I went to Emotan Shrine to go and cry. I went to Emotan Shrine. I got there, those people were watching me with the watermelon. And I look at the shrine, I look at the statue, I say, Madam, you are doing yourself, not me. I want to celebrate you. You are not giving me money.
And it worked.
It worked. I'm telling you, I entered before I land Lagos, my phone open, first bank called me. So how much are you looking for? I told them, give me money. Whoa. Yeah. So the ability to take risk. That's the difference between our generation and the younger generation. The younger generation are natural risk takers.
You just go for it anyway.
Yeah, a young boy came to me yesterday, 2 days ago. He came to me, he called me on the phone, we spoke, and then I thought I was coming to see him. I didn't go. The guy called me next morning and said, I'm coming to your house, can you give me my address? He's 26. He went to school in UK, went to school in US. He worked the biggest consulting firm in the country. He wants to work for me for free. That's risk. That's what you are doing, I'll work for me for free. Don't worry about mine. This has to come myself. Risk. My generation will not do it because we won't pay house rent. We won't pay, I give it now.
So you allowed in our generation, we allowed anxiety.
No, our generation was built in servitude. We're built to serve. That's why during our time, the professions was what was reigning: lawyer, doctor, engineer. Those are servants. They are not allowed by their very profession, you get me now, to think outside of the box. They have to tick the boxes. You get malaria, the doctor has to follow a certain procedure to treat you. I won't be bridge, engineer has to follow a certain procedure. You get me now? That is servitude. And that's why we wait for government to give us everything.
Everything.
You get? Now the younger generation, you get me now, are kicking against that. You see children from very big homes, very rich families, they will do the law, they will do the doctor, but they come back and become photographer. You get? Yes, your daughter, don't be publisher. You get? My daughter now, you don't do biochemistry now, American science now. You come out and go to act video, musical video. He's on stage. Because they have that latitude to be intellectually free.
So apply the knowledge
to the best
of their ability.
Yes. And so they're creating wealth. They're creating phenomenal wealth. They don't have to be in government. They're not interested in politics to achieve that fulfillment. And money does not drive them. And they are not hobbled by tribalism or ethnicism. You get? If a young 22-year-old boy is looking for a software developer, as long as software developer can deliver for him what he wants, doesn't care where the guy comes from. Now, when they ask Benin man, Igbo man, these people don't care. You get? I want a software that will move monies in seconds. You get? Who can build it for me? He can build it. I don't care where it comes from.
Do it, I pay you, and that's it. Business is done.
That's hope for this country.
So, the world is seeing that in Nigeria.
Yep.
And they are tapping on from it.
Yep.
But we are not. Why is
no, we are.
We're now seeing it.
We're now seeing, that's why this government, I see, let me tell you something, I was a rabid opponent of this government. During the first 6 months of this government, if they don't count 20 people that we need to hold a bit up against God, they'll come in. But today I'm beginning to see something they've done.
Sincerity of purpose.
Do you get me now?
Yes.
So they've taken technology, they're building the biggest bandwidth so that internet can be like this.
Speed.
Do you get it? They're pulling out of business. Do you get me now? They're encouraging people.
How would they or can they encourage local businesses where we do not have to wait and depend on outside, business controls to take advantage of what we have?
Any business that wants to be encouraged will be encouraged. Any business that doesn't want to be encouraged, don't be encouraged. I don't think any business should wait for government. You get me now?
Yeah.
I don't think any business should wait for government, except those areas that are heavily regulated, like aviation.
How do you say about regulation? There's too much of that.
Yes, but like I said, it's pulling back gradually. So the ministers are not as powerful as they used to be.
Yeah.
Do you get me now? The governors are not as powerful as they used to be in business anymore. Do you understand? So for example now, you can play oil and gas now. You don't need to know the MD of NNPC. What you need to know is whoever is in Dangote refinery that will move your fuel for you. Are you getting me now? Hey, and then at that point, it's price that is fighting. It's not government. Do you get me now? So it's moving. It has hit petroleum now, it's hit oil and gas. It's going to go, it's going to other areas, moving like that. So in another 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. Who if I ask you who is the Minister of Petroleum for US? Nobody knows him. Nobody cares to know him. Because you don't need to know. Government, US even are paying you people. If they are going to school to capture them to come and work for government, nobody's interested.
Yes.
Because you don't need to be in government or know anybody in government to achieve what you need to achieve. That's what we are in this country right now. Look at 30 December now. Look at the billions that enter the system. Without government is even struggling. Government is struggling to catch.
So, from all indication, you are saying that in spite of what we've borrowed, we shouldn't find it difficult paying or rescheduling.
No, we shouldn't borrow ourselves and pay anything. The people that are borrowing us, I don't think they have sense. Because to God, it's true. You say that we are owing so much.
Yes.
It's a two-way thing. If you want to borrow money from me, I want to ask you how you want to pay back.
Yes.
So anybody who look at Nigerian balance sheet will know there's a problem. You are owing X. You are any X minus. And every day keep on hearing what bank is borrowing. Paris Club is borrowing. Everybody keep borrowing. Are you getting me now? So me, I've learned to me, I shouldn't bother about paying back.
From here, I heard of interbank borrowing.
No, because that one is there. That's normally.
I should forget that one.
No, that one is there.
Well, is it normal?
See, that is a major structural problem of the banking system. Do you get me now? Where money circulates. Circulates without going to the real sector. As a young banker.
So it's not generated.
No. As a young banker, I used to ask myself. There's what they call overnight. Overnight rate. So you place money back A. And by tomorrow morning, bank pays back that money with interest. What do you do that overnight when you can't get that spread to pay on top? Are you guys know? So banks just trade among themselves for whatever it is. That's a long conversation we can have for the next 600 days. Because also, it's not their fault. Because it's heavily regulated. When CBN comes and says your CRR rate is X, basically every deposit you get 50% is quarantined by CBN. What do you have left to use to trade? What do you have left to use to borrow people?
So therefore, there should be no heavy regulation.
There has to be heavy regulation. Now, you know why? Because if we don't regulate, do you get me now? Then bankers, it's a contradictory statement I've just made now.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm fighting for this. But you see, if you're a banker, would you prefer to borrow Edgar the money to go and take a risk in farming when the chance of him to pay back no will come? Or take your money, JJ, and go and buy treasury bills and keep and go to bed and sleep? So regulation has to come in between. It's okay, put a portion of your money in treasury bills and a portion of your money in borrowing reset up people. That's where heavy regulation has to come in. If otherwise, all the banks will take all of their money and buy treasury bills and just go home to sleep.
And business will not move.
And business don't move.
Okay, the one side I said I will try and remember to bring up is the fact that government, in fact, that gladdened my heart, I must say that right away, said history should be brought back
Yeah.
to the syllabuses and the educational curricula.
Yeah.
You know, I felt so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
What do you say
But
about
that's playing to the gallery.
why?
Because anybody that says that history is not the curriculum, it's just fooling himself. Because information superhighway is anybody just with the press of a button will know what he wants to know now.
Google.
Google, do you get me now?
Yeah.
So history is just for the sake of WAEC. And we are now seeing now that paper qualification is becoming very less now.
Very much.
Do you get me now? So whether you put history back in the, that's a populist move.
Okay.
That for me will achieve nothing. It's just to say, okay, see what I've done. Do you get me now? Because whether history is in the curriculum or not, history is everywhere.
History is everywhere.
When we started this 30, my director will go to the library and sit down and research a motor. Today, you just carry a phone. There's argument though. A motor had 3 breasts. There's argument. When we did that in Benin now, a motor had 3 breasts. Some people say a motor had 3 breasts. Some people say had 2 breasts. There's a lot of argument. Do you get me now? So we just open Google and they say, a motor did this, a motor did that. Do you get me now? So, whether there's history, is curriculum or not, anybody that wants to find history will find history. So it's just on paper qualification, which is now going more and more obsolete because we are now running a market-driven economy. You get me now? I have a production manager that I don't think is a graduate. I've never asked him.
But he knows his job.
He knows his job. I've never asked him. I know how much I pay him. He was down in Chukwu for 3 weeks. I do everything. I just flew in that day. I lost the show and came back. We now say I'm not a player because it doesn't have paper. So that one is neither here nor there.
Okay, so we'll soon be going. I have just one more minute.
I reach 1 hour.
What is your advice? Huh?
I reach 1 hour now.
Yes. So, so what advice do you give the people, more like not even the government now, because the government is trying to do its best.
Yeah.
The people, how should they follow? What should they do to ensure that this, as J.F. Kennedy said those days, ask not what the country can do for you, but what you can do for the country. So,
see, one is that let people realize one thing: that sky will never fall, my brother. Sky cannot fall. So what keeps people in servitude? What keeps people enslaved is fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown.
Fear of tomorrow. How will I feed my children? How sky will not fall, my brother. I lost my job 3 times. Sky not fall. Police arrest me. Put me in EFCC 3 days. Sky not fall. If you can't pay your children's school fees, sky will not fall. If you can't pay your husband's, sky will not fall. Once you have that confidence that this sky will not fall on your head, then you can sit down and be proactive. Do you get? And you don't wait for government. Government is in trouble too. Government is confused. They're dragging there. Do you get me now? Let the Dangotes who have size wait for government. You cannot sell your house because you want to sell 6, 12, 13 pure water waiting for government. You know what I'm saying? They say, oh, nobody makes money at Kwaibo. Why don't you make 14 million?
Okay.
Well, it's over.
It's been Joseph Edgar on Sonny Rabor Live, and times is out. Well, I like the way I look today. I just wanted to give you a New Year look. And so thank you so much for being with us on Sonny Rabor Live.
Thank you, sir.
Right. So next week is another date, and we'll be discussing some more details. Bye-bye now.